going to Japan, man.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Finally checking it off the bucket list, huh?
Finally checking it off the bucket list. But why? Why Japan?
Why Japan? Dude, why not Japan?
Why not Japan?
Dude, there's so many reasons to go there. Like,
but what is it that arouses us enough to spend the money to head to Japan?
skylines and sushi.
Skylines and sushi, bro. Yeah, no, that's true. Skylines and sushi and the heritage and the whole vibe, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, those Euro guys, like they feel like Germany and stuff. That's that vibe to them, right?
Right.
So this is our vibe.
Right. And dude, just everything there is just so much history, and it's
Clean.
all so old and clean.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it's wild just how old everything can be over there. But, you know, in some parts, but obviously.
Yeah. There is like legit history. So like maybe it's not just the cars and like the sushi, you know, maybe it is also the like, yeah, just all of it, right? Like what it represents. Yeah, the history, the future, the technology.
Right.
Japan's really like on it.
And kind of like the mystery behind it, because it is like
This foreign
country, you know, and they do things very differently.
And they
definitely
don't
not the United
prioritize
States.
English at all.
Well, I think they do a little bit,
Really.
but you know, not.
We're gonna see pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll find
you'll
out
be
soon
eating
enough.
Those words like it's friggin' miso soup, brother.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, why are we going? It's because it's always been the dream, right? For probably, 25 years or so, it has been the dream since we saw that first 240 Sylvia ripping around a track with a body kit with, Asian girls and short skirts.
Oh yeah.
Saying, "Ay, papi." I don't think that was it. But still,
no, but I get it.
Yeah.
Say it's along the same vibe. Yeah, it's just watching all the option videos and just everything that we kind of not grew up, but kind of grew up in the car scene watching and like seeing all these people and all these shops and brands and stuff. It's gonna be really cool to finally be able to see
insert ourselves into it.
Right,
almost.
and get on the Wangan Highway.
Yeah.
Go to Daikoku. All those places, and just see the sites that we've been dreaming about for
forever,
decades.
Right. And so it's not like going from Boston to LA. It's a little different. You have a lot of pre-work to do when it comes to, they got these apps to get all your info to save you the customs paperwork when you get there. You got to take the COVID test, which we're about to go take our COVID test after we record this.
Yeah.
I kind of don't feel that great, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm not putting it out there that I'm going to fail. But if I do, I'm going to break things.
Yeah.
Probably my fingers.
Probably your heart.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, my heart will be the broken piece.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you got to, 72 hours prior, you got to get the COVID test and upload it online so that when you get there, you can get through the gates of heaven.
Yeah. It's a lot of, I don't know, just weird stuff to fill out and, a lot of, not hoops to jump through necessarily, but it's just kind of like a lot to do, which I think that started coming around with the COVID and all that, the restrictions for that.
Yeah, because they're still requiring the test as we spoke of, but like places like, United States aren't even requiring you to have a negative test to get in here.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
I mean, some hoops to jump through. I mean, I went to Belize a few months ago, and it wasn't even, that's another international place, and it was not like even close to like this.
Right.
It was just like, are you bringing anything that you shouldn't? No? Okay, cool. Have fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a process. We're heading out of Boston, straight flight to Narita in Tokyo.
Yeah.
We're leaving on Monday, and we get there on Tuesday afternoon. So 14-hour flight. Probably going to go crazy.
Nah.
Maybe on the way back.
Yeah, maybe on the way back.
Yeah, so
because we want to get back there.
yeah, exactly. We're like, damn, can you just turn this thing around? It would take
Right?
another week. It's fine.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. So, we got 2 weeks. We got about 14 days. We got plans. Once we land, we're gonna go head over and get the R34 GTR, pick it up so that we got transportation and we're not just paying taxis and stuff the whole time.
Right, right.
Plus, we're ripping around an R34 GTR that's not rented, so that's dope.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So we got that. We got an Airbnb in Yokohama, and we did that for a certain reason.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What reason is that?
Daikoku Futo
Yeah.
parking area.
Yeah.
You know,
so
if you know anything about the Tokyo scene, like you've seen pictures from the place, like you've heard of it, you know about it.
Yeah, it's definitely the go-to meetup spot for that area, and from our Airbnb you can see the parking area, so it should be pretty cool, especially having the R34, being able to partake in that.
Right, right.
So yeah, we got that Airbnb in Yokohama for a few days, and we're gonna explore Tokyo. My wife is coming, so we're gonna have to hit up Disney. As part of it, but that'll be cool just to see. It's really cool to anticipate seeing how Japanese people do things differently than us. I've just even on the level of Disney, I've been to Disney with my kids here. Seeing it there will just be interesting to compare, how do Japanese people operate comparatively to American people? We're going to be able to tell everywhere.
Right.
But in that sense.
Especially a place like that where, in America, their standards are pretty high, I would imagine. So, yeah.
How much higher could they be in Japan?
Right.
Probably pretty much higher because we're shitheads, kind of. So, we're going to do a few things around Tokyo, and then after that, we're headed over on the Shinkansen to Osaka, and Kyoto and Nara. So we're gonna take a few days and circle around there. Again, we'll have my wife with us, so we're kind of this first week doing a little bit more touristy type stuff, just to kind of get that out of our system.
Right. Just getting the feel of the place too.
Yeah, and just understanding how they operate and how public transportation operates, and all that type of stuff is really important, because especially us being where we're from, there's not a lot of public transportation.
Right.
There's not a lot of congestion, stuff like that.
Not a lot of people.
Right. And so we're going to have to adapt to that. And this first week will help us do that for sure. And also just understanding the roads, right?
Yeah.
Just understanding as a driver how to operate on the road so that you're not getting in trouble or getting in an accident, right? Because that's going to be the worst thing.
Or getting lost.
Yeah. I mean, the road can ruin your trip in multiple ways. So, but that's fine. The road's actually going to make our trip friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
It's all good. So we're gonna run up Osaka, and then we're gonna take the Shinkansen back to Shizuoka, and then hit up Fuji Speedway Hotel.
Yes, very iconic spot.
Yeah, that should be awesome. They don't have any events on the schedule, but we're hoping for some testing or test and tune type stuff.
Just anything, really.
Anything on that track, because we have a suite with track view, and we should be able to just sit at our window and see a good portion of the track. Right. So, and then they have a huge museum there.
Yeah.
And that's like also the draw, is that they have a lot of cool relics, so to speak.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely some history in that place.
Yeah. So we're going to check that out. And then we plan to go, at this point in our trip, it's going to be Saturday. We arrive on Tuesday. At this point in our trip, it's the first Saturday. And my wife flies back to Boston on Sunday. So that's when our trip kind of changes from tourist mode to extreme car guy mode. Yeah. Pretty much.
Hopefully doing some homework while we're there for the first week a little bit, trying to figure a few things out to maximize what we can see.
Right, on the second week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So at this point, let's just say on Sunday, we dropped my wife off at the airport. She's headed back. See ya. Love ya. But now we're going to get in an RV.
Yeah.
And when we say RV, we're not talking diesel pusher guy. We're not talking about the 43-foot.
No, this is a Yoda, right?
Yeah, we're talking like small Toyota truck with like a camper thing on the back of it, like enough room for us two guys and probably 4 ants.
Yeah.
Like not much room, but like we're doing it right. We're not just limiting ourselves to hotels.
Right. That was the main goal behind the RV, right? Is so we can kind of freestyle this second week and, travel the country and see all these spots from, city to city without having to be tied down necessarily.
Right. Yeah. Having to get to this hotel by this time, any of that, or check into this Airbnb. Will it be the most comfortable? I don't know, but it don't matter. We're not 50 or 60. We're like, well, I'm almost 50 or 60. But, so it's like, it won't be bad. It's one of those, like we said, bucket list items that you deal with it, right? Like, that's a little cramped, but screw it. I'm in Japan, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And, we'll make the most of it.
So that week 2, we have it somewhat planned out, like our areas. After we drop her off at the airport and get loaded up in the RV, we're headed straight up from Narita to Fukushima.
Right. Yeah. And up in Fukushima, that's where the world famous Ebisu circuit is. I think they'll just be coming off of their Spring Matsuri.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. We'll be able to miss that. But
we had wanted to do that, but we had already booked the Fuji Speedway Hotel. It's really hard. I still got mixed feelings inside about it, but hey, whatever.
I think there'll still be enough action there going on, like
after the fact to kind of catch it.
I think we'll definitely get to see some cool stuff there.
Yeah,
and also kind of up that way is the Twin Ring Motegi.
I remember hearing about that. Really, I think it must have been what video was Gran Turismo at Twin Ring Motegi?
Yep. Yeah, sure did. Yeah, and I mean, it was a track that Honda built back in the day, and they actually have a Honda museum.
Oh, that's cool.
There, so it's like they have all their famous race cars, motorcycles too, and then like their basic cars that aren't race cars, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's a whole vibe.
Right, yeah. Especially if you're a Honda guy.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, even if not, you can obviously appreciate.
Right. I'm not like totally a Honda guy, but it's definitely, I'm excited to see that stuff.
Hell yeah. And isn't Scuba up there somewhere?
Yeah. Scuba Circuit is up there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to hit that. We'll just have to see, the timing and the routes and all that. But it's up there around
maybe
in that area.
A little further north, is it? Or no?
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah,
I think
we're going to find out. We will find out.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And Scuba Circuit, that's also, famous circuit for Time Attack and spinning video games and all that.
Sure.
So
all these tracks are like iconic in one way or another.
Right.
So we're going to start there in Fukushima, and then we're heading southwest to Nagoya.
Yep.
And in Nagoya, you have some pretty heavy hitters over there. Garage Defend, if you're a GTR guy, you know all about Garage Defend.
Oh, yeah.
They're definitely a top tier GTR space, I believe. I have like a few of the carbon fiber parts that they've made on my R33, and ever since I bought those parts and was on their website and saw the spread and just how they operate, I was like, wow, this is like one of those like badass places.
Yeah, definitely top tier. They have some of the rarest GTRs in their storage and stuff like
for
that.
sure. Yeah, if you're a baller, if there's any ballers listening to this and you're just like itching for an R34, hit us up, send us your money. We'll head over
we'll
to
check
Garage
it out for
Defend.
you.
Yeah, we'll get you a badass GTR. There's no doubt about it. And then, right down the street is Liberty Walk.
Yeah,
And if you've seen any picture of some wild ass car,
wide body,
wide body
Ferrari,
it really,
Honda.
it don't
Like, it
matter.
doesn't matter.
Whatever it is, it was probably either a Liberty Walk car or a Liberty Walk inspired.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, like they created like almost a movement with their operations.
Right. And that'll be cool to see. I mean, I'm not sure like what they're set up, and same with most of these other shops. I'm not sure they're set up if like they allow people to come in and look around their cars, or if they have anything like that. But it'll still be cool to at least drive by and see what they got in their lot, and whatever.
Take a picture
with a sign, or whatever it might be.
No, we're getting in, dude. We're two white guys from Maine, dude. We are getting in. We got clout. We're coming in, dude.
Right.
No, but yeah, I mean, some of these places, it may not be as, gratifying as like we're anticipating, but the fact that we're going to be in the presence is the present.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Just be able to see the places we've been looking at online for years.
We're seeing promos of or whatever. Yeah. I mean, so I know on our list for Nagoya is also a place called Kid's Heart. Never heard of it.
Yeah, so if you kept up with drifting in the late 90s, 2000s, even to this day, I mean, they had a very big presence in Japanese drifting. It's just one of those shops that you see a lot of. And
so they got a lot of old tires out front.
Probably. Not sure, really. Yeah. I mean, we're going to find out.
We'll find out. Kid's Heart.
But it's one of those places that has been around for a long time. And, they probably not, the very top tier of the scene, but they're definitely up there as far as like part of the culture.
Right, and that's what it's about, right? It's and we're not going to list off all the places that we're going,
Right.
we're just listing off some of the top ones that we consider cool. I mean, there's other spots that we're headed to, but right, this is all about the culture. Like both of us have been into the Japanese car culture for a long time, and so collecting all these like mental lists of shops and drivers and parts warehouses and these different things that we've like made these mental notes of, not even realizing it, all came down to this trip, right? Like we didn't even realize that we've been mentally preparing for this trip for 20 years.
Right. Whenever I started like kind of making the list of these tuning shops and whatnot, I started going through the list. I'm like, oh wow, that's that place that sponsored this driver way back when,
or had
like,
this wild livery.
Right.
Like when you said RSR, it immediately brought me back to Option Video and the RSR team. And
right. The white and the red.
Yeah, it was sick. Yeah, so right, it's like we've been preparing for this like sub-mentally forever. Not even realizing it was coming.
Right. It's so cool.
So after Nagoya, we're headed even further south, back to Osaka. The first week, like we said, we're doing some tourist stuff in Osaka, but the second week when we hit Osaka, it's straight up car stuff.
Right.
What are a few of the spots that we're heading to in Osaka?
So there's a few. Osaka's pretty close to Kyoto.
Yeah.
Which is, if you know what Kyoto is, you know that Rocket Bunny is from there.
Right.
The 4-6
Another
Kyoto.
Another one of those, kind of like Liberty Walk, just maybe not as like in your face.
Right. It's one of those.
Like they do body stuff, a lot of body stuff.
Right. A lot of body kits.
Yeah.
Wide bodies, stuff like that. Endless Performance is also in Osaka.
That's sweet. I bet they have some dope cars.
Oh, yeah.
At least some cars with some good brakes.
Right, I would hope so.
Yeah.
RSR, like you just mentioned, they're actually from Osaka.
Do you know what that stands for?
I don't.
Me neither. I hope we find out.
It's probably something simple.
Probably something you're like, oh, okay.
Rally Sport Racing.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. RSR Endless Rocket Bunny.
Yeah, and Jay's Racing is also there. So that
Jay's
would be...
Racing.
That's probably, up top of one of my... I'm not even a Honda guy, and they're like one of my favorite tuners, just from the way they build their cars, the way
they're classy, kind of like
right.
It is very interesting how these different tuning shops and brands have their own identity.
Yeah,
like even though there's so many, they were each able to create their own identity in like things that they're known for,
right?
Which is wild, and like they didn't all just copy each other. Like a lot of places in America,
right?
They'll copy each other and bite off somebody's style,
right?
But like each of these places that we're naming off have all created their own style, and places here are biting off of their style,
right?
So that is cool.
Yeah, and all these shops are kind of like unique. They have unique parts to themselves, like. I don't really see them copying off each other,
right?
For the most part. I mean, maybe a little bit here and there, but
I think it's like considered disrespect too, right? Like
probably.
Like in that sense, like okay, well, we've put our time and effort into this R&D, and you're just literally
ripping off.
Yeah,
right.
So at this point, we've gone through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're gonna at the end of the day, Thursday, in Osaka, we have a long drive back to Tokyo, about 6 hours. So we're going to start making some of that trip in our little camper. And at this point, I've parked the R34 somewhere in the Tokyo area in order to reserve miles and not drive separately to a lot of these places at the beginning of the week.
Right.
So now at this point, we leave Osaka, we head back towards Tokyo, we pick up the car, we park the camper, and now we're doing Tokyo metropolitan area, like shops and whatnot.
Right.
Which we haven't hit yet. So now we're taking the GTR, and we're going to places like the infamous Type 1. What's
Right.
Type 1?
Type 1. That's Spoon.
That's Spoon, baby.
Spoon.
Yeah, that's
Spoon
like,
engines.
Yes, exactly.
He's running Spoon engines.
Yes, and then they have SR20s in Integras,
and they're pulling
crazy.
premiums.
Yes.
Week before Race Wars? Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh! So yeah, we're headed to the infamous Spoon Garage, Type 1 maintenance, and that's like pretty exciting for me because, and as I'm sure it is you too, because not anyone, but a lot of guys who are into cars, you can respect these different garages regardless of if they're working on stuff that you super love, right? Which, I mean, I love S2000s and NSXs and Civic Type Rs, like that shit's awesome, but to see like Spoon just takes it to a different level.
Yeah.
And then that garage is friggin' awesome. I actually just saw a video of this guy named Albo. He took his S2000 to get service there.
Yeah.
So awesome. Like him just showing the video of them lifting the car up that lift.
Oh,
that
yeah. Because it's a 2-story.
Yeah.
Like their shop's on top of their showroom or something. It's something weird like that.
Yeah, it is.
Wild.
Like they have a shop on top of the showroom. So you pull into like the showroom onto a plate. The plate lifts you up to the shop and then they pull it into the lift. It's sitting right next to the Spoon S2000. Right. Like, that's just cool. If you're one of those guys, like that's like check.
Right.
Yes, had my car worked on in Spoon,
Yeah, I'm just trying to get one of those Swan stickers.
Swan, yeah. I got one for you if you want.
I'll put it right on my door. I don't care.
Yeah, right in the center.
Dude, I will.
Yeah. And so after Type 1, we're going to get on to our, our Nissan game, and we're headed to Nissan Heritage, which that's like, what? That's like Nissan spot, right?
Yeah. The Heritage, it's like the Nissan Heritage at Zama. It's like a museum type thing.
Yeah.
They might not have many of the race cars and stuff like that. I think that's mostly at the Amari factory, which we'll also be hitting. But I think it just shows more of their classic cars and things along that lines. Not really sure though. We've never been there.
Never been. Seen some videos. Tried not to watch a lot of videos.
Right.
Because I don't want to already experience something that I'm trying to experience on that level, right?
For sure.
So, it's like Nissan Heritage and then another Nissan spot, Omari factory, which you just mentioned. But what's the difference?
The Omari factory is Nismo. So it has all their race stuff pretty much. That's where they do all the GTR tuning on the 34s and 33s and
Yeah.
32s. It's where they house a bunch of their, old race cars pretty much. It's kind of a museum in that sense.
Heritage is more Nissan, period. Like
right.
Nissan, the brand, and then Omari is like race.
Nismo. Yeah. That's the Nismo Motorsports.
That makes
version
sense.
of it.
So yeah, we're going to check out these Nissan spots, of course, super important to us being, Nissan guys.
Right.
But we're not leaving anything out because we love Japanese cars. That's what it's about. Yes, we happen to prefer maybe Nissans. That's cool.
Right.
But after Omari Factory, we're headed over to Toyota Mega Web City. Whatever that even...
The Mega Web City Showcase.
Oh, the Mega Web City Showcase.
Yeah.
So I'd assume that's like a Nissan Heritage and Omari Factory combined.
So
I don't know. I never even heard of it.
From what I've seen and what I've read online about the Mega Web City Showcase is that they don't. It's not just Toyotas. It's pretty much everything to do with cars. In that sense.
Damn,
I think maybe
cool.
even motorcycles too. But I mean, it's all makes. They'll have Nissans in there. They'll have Subarus. They'll have.
That's pretty cool. At least
I'm not sure about American stuff, but
is it actually a Toyota thing?
Yeah, I'm almost positive it is. But yeah, it's like in the middle of the city, and from what I saw, it looked like it was in the middle of like a mall type area.
Oh wow,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be a cool little vibe walking through there and just seeing the array of cars they have and just this stuff that they want to display. And
yeah,
I'm sure we'll be into it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be cool. Yeah, I mean, and it's all knowledge, right? Like it's all like knowledge that you're gaining regardless of if you're into this certain car. It's like, well, now you know this about that car and it just adds to your knowledge, which I think is huge.
Right, yeah, and I definitely like to nerd out and read the displays and learn about the little facts about all the stuff.
Yeah.
That might not know otherwise.
Right, exactly. So, and again, it's all just like knowledge in furthering your understanding of the Japanese car culture, right?
Yeah.
So, at this point, we have a few other things, that we just plan to hit, Big Bang, the drift carts. If you haven't seen these, just Google it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like you just see them like
track.
Sliding around sideways, like not even at extreme speed.
Yeah, no,
either.
It's super low speed.
Yeah. But you get to understand like angles and like reaction and all that type of thing, which if you can't afford to just go grab a drift cart and slam it into some walls, this is probably the next best thing.
Right. Yeah.
So we're gonna hit Big Bang. We're obviously gonna hit some dope food spots.
Yeah.
We don't
even know.
We don't have a huge list. Brian from Top Rank gave us a list of some different places to hit, but we're still even going to expand on that, of course. Where we plan to be at Daikaku Futo Plenty, the parking area where everybody meets up. We absolutely
might even sleep there.
Yeah, might even sleep there. Literally, we can.
Yeah,
and that's what's cool about the second week where we have the RV. We're free. We're not tied down, and that's like the biggest thing when you're first exploring this country, and all of a sudden something comes up. Yeah. Hey, you guys should go here. Oh shit! Well, we got a hotel here tonight. We can't really. Instead, it's like shit. We'll head there now.
Right.
Yeah, we'll meet you there. And so that freedom is really what we were going after when we were planning this trip. But that doesn't mean that we've considered everything. If anybody listening has some suggestions for us, like let us know if you've been there and there was some stuff that you experienced that you're like, whoa, I'll never do that again. Let us know because we don't want to make mistakes. That's like, we don't mind, but we would rather have the knowledge prior so that we can save that time and heartache. Or if you're listening and you've been and there's some really cool spots that we cannot miss, like, yo, let us know. Hit us up in the DM, make a comment on the podcast, whatever. Just help us learn before we make the mistake.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to get the comment, hey, you should go to Up Garage.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So like we left out a lot of things here that we're obviously gonna do. Up garage, auto box, like,
all that.
We're stopping everywhere that we can. These are kind of just the major places that we felt like we should kind of put out there. And so our plan is, we're going to we're bringing the podcast stuff. We're going to record in Japan. We're going to record on the plane. We're going to record in the RV.
Yep.
We're going to record at Daikaku Futo. We might record at Omari Factory.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it real and continue to kind of record our experience throughout.
Yeah. As we go, so we can remember it, right?
Right. Yeah. And it's documented and not kind of going off memory a week or 2 weeks later.
Because we're going to be so overloaded with everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it'll definitely be something to remember because you're going to Japan for 14 days. You're cramming your dreams into these 14 days and you're trying to create relationships. That's another reason for us to go, is to create relationships so that we can have more opportunities within this industry. Whether it's,
you never know,
importing, whether it's other car things, what if it's nothing car related at all? I don't know, but we're looking for opportunities at the very least to make some friends. That's like the least expectation is like, okay, we want to walk away from this with a few acquaintances in Japan. So the next time we go, we're hitting up our acquaintances and we're making more memories, and then we're meeting more acquaintances, and that's the web that we're trying to spin. We're hoping for the best. I mean, I don't see how anything could go wrong, besides a bunch of shit. But we're hoping for the best, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's all we can do.
Once we get off that plane and they let us out into Japan, like it's
we're foreigners abroad.
Yeah. And of course we're coming prepared, and we've done a bunch of research, and we've tried to do everything prior that we can to be prepared. So I'm sure that we'll have just a great time.
Yeah.
And as I said, if you have any input, if you have any suggestions, if you just want to tell us good luck, like throw down in the DMs. It's at RHDGUYS on Instagram. You can always comment on the podcast wherever you listen to it, and let us know. We check all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll be uploading content while we're over there too. So.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that, for sure, just so you can kind of keep up with our trip with us, because we're trying to keep it time sensitive in the sense of we're dropping the episode while we're still there.
Right.
So if you have some input, throw it down, follow along. And see how we do. And then we'll have an episode when we return, just kind of recapping everything and kind of comparing it to this episode as far as like, did it go as planned or did it go awry?
Right.
Hopefully as planned, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this wraps it up for this episode. We just want to give you a little sneak peek into our trip and kind of let you know that we're going. And otherwise, we'll see you in Japan.
Oh, yeah. We'll see ya.
Peace.